Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Thank you very much for joining. Today I would like to downsize my collection. So I have obviously if you're new here then you won't know, but I have got a lot of plants and I've got multiples. So my intention today is basically just to plant some of those plants up together. Just because it would make it slightly easier to be looking after one pot rather than two. I don't know if you can hear the clock, sorry about that if you can. But yes, I intend to cut a lot of my plants soon-ish because a lot of them need cutting and I like propagating. But before I do that, I just want to try and downsize where I can because I'm just mindful that I have got a lot of plants and I don't want to just majorly increase. So I'm just trying to be a bit strategic and just decrease slightly before I go mad propagating. So I've already done one, I did that off camera. I had two Monstera deliciosa propagations. Both got potted up separately. I've potted those up together. So on the agenda today, I've got six different plants that will be three different plants. Which I'm hopefully going to get through. So that is the plan. If you are new here, then thank you very much for joining. My name is Rihanna and this is a channel all about houseplants. So to start with then, let's go for, I don't know if I've shown you this plant. So this one I have shown you, but obviously I don't feature it very often in my channel because it's not particularly interesting. It is a, what is it? It's an epipremnum or pothos. I want to say Enjoy. I think it's the Enjoy. If I'm wrong, I'll put it on the screen, but I'm pretty sure it's the Enjoy. So this is a cutting that I got from one of my friends. She bought a small plant and it's one I didn't have and she knew I wanted, so she's given it to me. If you don't know this plant, then you may not know, but if you've not come across this plant before, you might not know, but this is notoriously slow. So I don't know how long I've had it for, but it's been like 4 months, maybe more, and it's done nothing. I'm not surprised. I know this plant is slow. That's fine. I was happy to wait until I went to a garden centre, and this is one I'm not sure if I've showed you. I went to a garden centre, I don't know when, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and they had this one, and it was in the same size pot. It's really small, but obviously it's quite a big plant and I can't remember how much it was. I think it was like £3 or something. So I just thought I'm gonna get it and then I can put these up together. This has got 3 different, if I show you the back you might be able to see, it's got 3 different plants in here. Whoops, that one's just fallen over. So yeah, I'm going to be adding a 3rd plant and yeah, I don't think the plant is going to be particularly much, it's not going to affect the plant to be honest, but it's just going to help me out having one less pot. I don't know what's going on here. I've just, I was trying to pull it off a second ago, I've just lost this leaf. I suspect I had it in too high light without acclimating it, because where it was right in front of my grow light, and it just, as you can see, it's kind of burnt a little bit. That one has as well. There's a few places that they've just gone a bit brown and crispy. But it stopped doing it and it started pushing out new leaves, so I think it's acclimated. I just probably shouldn't have put it in such bright light to start with. So this one I haven't repotted since I've owned it. So it's kind of on the list to do anyway, so it just makes sense to pop this little prop in as well. So I'm just getting rid of some of that soil. It's actually really decent soil. I'm just looking at it. It's got loads of perlite in and stuff like that. So I'm not too bothered about breaking that up too much. This one is in Soil Ninja because I potted it up. So let's see the roots. So it looks like, I don't know if it's put root growth on or not, but the roots are really healthy. So I think it's fine. I think it's just slow. And then I didn't show you this one. Whoops. Can you see? It's got also has very healthy roots. So I'm literally just gonna grab a slightly bigger pot from my stash of pots, which is running a little bit low, to be honest. What should we go for? Probably just that one. I think this is a 9cm. This is like a 5.5 or a 6, I think they call it, and this is a 9. So slightly more. Just going to put some lacquer in the bottom just to increase the drainage. And then try and grab a scoop. I say a scoop, I just mean a pot that I have here. Come on. Oh. Right. It's very awkward because I keep my pots in the soil and then they're always in the way when I need to get the soil out, but it's just convenient to keep them in there, to be honest, so I'm not going to change it. And then I'm just going to sort of arrange these in the pot. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes. I'm just going to arrange these in the pot kind of like that. That actually looks quite nice. And then I'll just pop this one in the back here. And I'm going to reuse that soil because there is nothing wrong with it. Get some in the front. Really quick and easy job. It's just one that I haven't gotten around to yet. So yeah, I'll be very pleased to get these done because I want to kind of get on and get propagating because I want things to be kind of established-ish come growing season. That's sort of like my thinking as to why I'm going to be propagating now. Because I think a lot of people don't propagate over the winter, but I always have, and I've not really had an issue. My plants they slow down over the winter, but they certainly don't go completely dormant. And if they do, obviously I wouldn't chop them. But they're all growing quite well, so. I have slowed down on my fertiliser. I'm still fertilising, but a lot less than I was. And yeah, they seem to be fine. So I do just cut back on the fertiliser because obviously they're not pumping out leaves quite as much as they are in the summer. So there we go. That is a much better sized pot. Just move my head so it can focus on that. That is a much better sized pot for the size plant. But yeah, a really beautiful plant. Really glad to have it in my collection. And hopefully it will tumble down the pot come next year and look really full and lovely. So that's the first one. Then the second one I've got is, you would have seen this recently if you're not new here. It's this Aglaonema, which I have propagated. So the video I think you would have seen it in if you did was an updates video, because I filmed the process of propagating this. I'd never done it before, so I kind of wanted to document how it went, and it went really well. The wet sticks didn't do so well, but this was the top cut and this was the butt cut. So you can hopefully see there, obviously it's put this leaf out, but there is there's 3 growth points in there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see them, but there are 3 growth points in there that have all kind of sprouted since I cut it. So it did take a while, it wasn't a particularly fast process. I might actually just put them back into here. Will I do that? The roots on this are really good. I'm going to try and be careful not to knock those growth points. That would be very disappointing. But actually you might be able to see them a bit better now. There's one just there, hopefully, and then there's another one just coming off the side just there. Hopefully you can see. Let's have a look and see what these roots are like, as to whether I could get them all in here, because that would actually be quite nice. But yeah, the roots that this has put out are absolutely brilliant in the time that it's been propagating, so that's what it's done. Yeah, I'm really pleased. I think it's beautiful, and I like this on its own actually. I think that's really lovely, but as I say, I don't have too much space, so we are going to try. And I also really liked it I don't think I showed you, but it sat in this pot and it was really, really lovely. A lovely combination. It just sat next to my TV, which I don't think this is going to fit now, so I have to sort something else out, but let's just try and get that in there. Yeah, that's fine. Obviously I say much bushier. It will be much bushier once those other 2 growth points properly come in. And again, just reusing the soil because they haven't been potted in here that long at all, really. And I know it's Soil Ninja, so I always reuse soil because I think as long as you're fertilising and you're getting the any root, like broken roots out as best you can, there are kind of, I wouldn't say always, but fairly often there are the odd root that that does sort of get mixed up into the soil, but as I see them I just grab them out and I've not had any problems. So, because the soil is expensive, like this is an expensive hobby, not just the plants but all of the accessories, I guess, all of the sundries that comes with it. And yes, soil is not cheap, so I am absolutely not going to be binning all of this and starting again. The only time I do that is when I've got an old soil mix that I don't like anymore. So that is that one. I just love it, it's so glossy and I love the pattern on the leaves, and the aglaonema are so easy if you're like new to plants or you've got a spot that's a little bit darker than some of the other spots in your house, and you want a really lovely plant that will thrive in the spot. Get an aglaonema, they're really great, they're hardy. Yeah, really recommend. So that is the second / third and fourth. And then the next ones you have seen before. Sorry, it's quite noisy. You have seen before, but not for a while, I don't think. So I will grab those. So these are my jungle cactus. I did do a video when I first got these. They are actually 2 different types of jungle cactus. They look the same. Oh, that one's got some water in the bottom of there. That's not ideal. Actually, I think I watered it really regularly, so, really recently, so that is maybe why. But yeah, they're actually 2 different. I've got the labels in them because I didn't want to forget, and now I guess it's not really going to matter because I'm going to be potting them up. I will show you the labels. They're a little bit muddy, and now my hands are extremely muddy. But they're both different types of like zigzag cactus is one of the common names for them. This one has done much better than the other one. I think that is just because this room that we're in now isn't as light or warm, so I don't think that's a reflection on the different types of plant. I could be wrong, this one could be. So this one's slightly dusty because I haven't got around to dusting the plants in this room yet. It is putting out growth. You can see here it's putting out quite a bit of new growth, but it's just nowhere near as bushy as that other one, and I think when I got them they were a fairly similar size. So that is that second one, and in that original video my intention was to keep them separate and kind of monitor them and then like feed back the differences, but I think unfortunately, I mean I would like to do that but I just don't have the space. And I think this would actually look quite nice as a bit of a fuller plant. So I'm going to leave both the labels. I might try and kind of keep them at opposite sides of the pot just for my own information really. If they flower at any point I should be able to tell which is which because they do have different flowers. I think they've got a slightly different form, but it's very slight, and I honestly think it's just because this one's kind of more mature than this one. If you look at, I'll just wipe the dust off. If you look at this one, it's kind of the squiggles aren't as pronounced as, for example, this one. But I think that's just because this one's more mature, because if you look at some of the younger growth on this plant, it's very similar to that. I don't know, I'm going to put them together. I might regret putting them together, but I'm gonna do it. And I'm just thinking about if I've got a pot that's kind of big enough. I've got a 1 litre, they're both in 9 centimetres. So hopefully that will be big enough. It might not be. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to try and also get them mixed up. Let's do the bigger one first, which is this label I'm putting over here, and then that label's with that one. Okay, so this is in my old potting mix, so I don't want to keep this. Where am I going to put this? There, so I'm just cluttering up. Maybe I should move some of this stuff so you can see a bit more of what I'm doing. I just don't want to put that on the carpet because it's very wet. That is very wet. It's also drying out quite quickly, this one. It was drying out quite quickly. This is so interesting. Like, I know obviously perlite rises to the top, but that is really crazy. Like, the whole top layer is just perlite, and then underneath here there's absolutely no perlite at all. It's just thick dirt. It's not dirt, it's compost. Right, I'm gonna try and get some of this off, but they've got really fine roots, so... And honestly, the plant's happy, so it's not the end of the world. I'm gonna put soil ninja on it now. In case you can see this, there is a worm that's come out of this plant that is now making its way across my potting mat. Oh no, there's another one just there. You could probably come out. I'll put you in the garden. I think you'll probably be a bit happier. Okay. I think that's probably going to be it before I start ripping roots. So let's put that there with its label. And then, oh, okay, that one hasn't like rooted at all. Not very happy. Literally, it's just come out pretty much in the shape of the smaller pot that it was obviously in before I potted it up. Okay, let's try and get some of this off. Maybe that will help, I don't know. Okay, well, it will definitely fit in the 1 litre pot. I'm just going to leave that actually. It's not really wanting to come off, so I'm just going to leave it. What did I do with that pot? There it is. Okay, so again, leca in the bottom. Right, okay, I've kind of filled that in with leca and then I've just put some soil on the top. So let's put this one in first, the biggest one, kind of put it like that, and then, how am I going to do this? I'll just poke it kind of into the middle of the plant for now, just so the label stays there. And then I'm going to put this one around the back. Yeah, that looks quite nice. And then I'll just kind of try and hold that. Is this going to work? Yes. Right, except I now have no hands to fill in. I feel like something just snapped. What did I do? Oh no. Okay, looks like we're propagating a bit. Okay, I'm going to have to just kind of flop them forwards and hope that's going to be okay. I don't want to snap anymore. Yeah, see, here's exactly what I was talking about, some root. Oh, there's a bit here that hasn't gone in. I'll poke that in the back afterwards. In fact, I might do it now. That can just go there. No idea, I'm assuming it came off the bigger one. Because it was on that side. Whoops. So I'll kind of keep it more on that side of the pot. I don't know how much I'm going to care, to be honest, about keeping these separate, but I just thought if I can, I will, because it will be nice to know exactly where I'm growing. Does anybody else like to know exactly what they're growing, or do they not care as long as they like the plant? They're not bothered about learning the names and don't know, knowing exactly what it is. I personally like to know exactly what I'm growing. I have got a no ID epipremnum, and it does irritate me that I don't know what it is, because I don't know why. I don't like the plant any less, but I just like to know what it is. It's actually one of my favourites, and it's currently in a spot that I can't really appreciate it. It's in this corner right behind my Dean McDowell, and it's kind of in the corner growing. This is a bad idea, but I've done it now. I've started growing up my strelitzia because it wanted to climb and I couldn't give it anything to climb, and there was a strelitzia right next to it, so I've just started growing up that, which I think I will regret come, well, anything really, coming to water any of them. At the moment I've been watering in situ, because this corner's a nightmare, so I just kind of poke the watering can in and try and give everything a drink. But ideally I do prefer to get everything out and take it to the bathroom and water. So I'm going to regret it when it comes to that. Okay, so that is in. Yeah, I can see which plant's which in there. And I put the labels there. So anyway, that is what we are left with. I think that looks like a really lovely plant. I'm actually much happier with that. This is obviously kind of like a bit of a crazy plant. I don't know if everybody likes it, but I love it. I think it looks really different to a lot of other plants, and these can get quite big. The fronds, leaves, I don't know, these can get quite big, as in long and quite thick. I think they do get thicker than this, so I think particularly that other one has done really well, so I'm really excited to see how it does. And you can actually see, am I going to be able to show you anywhere? Maybe this one, just here. I'm trying to get my hand in there. That one, if you can see that, has actually started to kind of, I would call it callousing. I don't know if that's the right word, and this one's done it as well. That's where my finger is, which is basically something that's, well, I think all plants actually, but I know particularly cacti and succulent do that when they're maturing, so yeah, we'll see how that does. But actually I think I noticed it on my Esmeralda dents earlier this week. The stem at the bottom has gone quite brown and hard, and it's not like an unhealthy brown and hard, it's just sort of done it in the sense that it's obviously really mature, and it's something that plants do to strengthen themselves up, which I thought was quite interesting. But yeah, that is the 3rd / 5th and 6th plant for today. I don't know what the time is. Yeah, I am going to have to wrap that up there, but what I will do is propagate this. I've not propagated this before, so I'm not really sure what to do. I will probably put it in moss, or should I put it straight in soil? I don't know. If anybody does know, please leave a comment, because I really like some advice, because yeah, I've not done it before. I'm gonna do it in moss, but if it's wrong, I'm happy to change it, so that's exciting. I would like to experiment with that, so yeah, that's nice. But yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. Bit of a shorter video, I think. It felt shorter for me. But yeah, hope you enjoyed coming along with me, just very briefly downsizing my collection. It's not really a big deal when it's not a massive downsize, but these kind of things, when you've got a big collection, doing little bits like this along the way is really helpful. Just little tips for if you're feeling overwhelmed, like you've got too many plants, then yeah, maybe just have a look around your collections and see what you can merge together. Some people put like different types of plants in together, as in like a marble queen pothos and a pothos enjoy, something like that. So you're still sticking within the genus, you're still using just epipremnum, which generally have the same care needs. Other people will plant like totally different plants together. Obviously you do need to be aware of plants' needs. I would not suggest putting like a begonia with a succulent, because your watering requirements are very, very different. Same with lighting, just be aware of what you're planting together. But that's another idea. I can't see myself doing that, if I'm honest. I don't really know why. I just think I'd rather keep the same plant to the same pot. Having said that, I've just literally just done that with that, but I feel like that's different because they look the same. But yeah, that's another idea that you can do, and sometimes it can look really, really effective. You can make little like arrangements basically, so you can have something with a bit of height, and then maybe something trailing over the front, so just to make it look nicer. And one thing, having said I don't think I'd ever do it, the only instance that I think I might do it is if I had something that had a big kind of trunk or stem. I'm trying to think. Potentially with my Dean McDowell, to be honest. I mean, at the moment, I don't know how well you can see, but I just put marantas in the bottom because it's boring down there. But if I had a bigger planter, I might actually plant those marantas in the bottom. Something like that, or if you had a big dracaena, I think that would be quite a nice thing to do if you had one of the really tall ones, to put some, I don't know, something around the bottom, just so you've got a bit of interest in the bottom, and then obviously you've got your dracaena at the top. So there's lots of ideas like that, lots of ways you could go with it. But yes, I've just done obviously kind of a very basic thing, but it's going to hopefully help space-wise and brain-wise, in terms of just like taking a few more things off my plate, which will be really, really nice. But yeah, I've just kind of done a fairly basic thing there, just, you know, putting multiples together, but it's just something that really, really helps. But yes, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so, so much if you've made it to the end. If you did enjoy the video, give it a like, it would really, really help me out. And if you would like to see more of my content, then do hit that subscribe button. Thank you so, so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you, bye.